Evening everybody and welcome to Well On Safety. Today I'm going to talk about getting big high expense health and safety projects approved by senior managers. Getting those approvals and getting the finance and the sign-offs for those projects to go ahead is a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. And I know because I've just gone through a similar experience myself. But I'm going to give you a couple of tips and a couple of key things to think about when you're sort of putting together your business case for these high expense services or pieces of high expense equipment. The sort of key thing initially then is to completely understand the product. You need to fully understand the product and how that product can fit within your business. Okay, and what you're trying to do here is you're trying to identify those key value add sections of the product. They're really the highlights that you want to be put into the senior managers when you're building your business case. So identify those sort of key value add areas and make sure they're included in your presentation. That's the first thing. Secondly, understand who you're pitching to. Understand who they are as an individual, understand who they are as a manager. So, for example, if you want a high expense, let's say it's a EHS online tool and it's going to cost, I don't know, £100,000, right? You need to understand the type of person, the MD or the manager that's going to sign off on this, understand the type of person they are. Are they money orientated? Are they people focused? Are they about super efficiency? Understanding what their sort of thought process is allows you then to tailor, your business case to that personality type. For example, if they're very money orientated, just whacking together a presentation with all the key value add sections as we've discussed and a price tag of £100,000 might not cut it, because they might not see the value in that. All they're really being presented with then is just one massive number, and they're just expected to sign off on it. If they're money orientated and they want value for money, try and break that service down. Maybe that service is going to be shared between sort of 10 or 20 different branches. If that's the case, break that costing down into a branch by branch costing. So instead of presenting them with only the one value of £100,000, just split that down within your presentation. Yes, the total cost of this project is going to be £100,000. However, that split between X amount of branches equates to X amount per branch. If you split costings down like that, especially if the individual you're pitching to is more money orientated and want value for money, that just helps them get their head around, okay, yeah, £100,000 actually isn't that bad a cost. If I split it between my 20 branches, it's X amount. It just helps them get over that initial, it's going to cost how much now? They see the big cost and then they see how it's split down. And then hopefully that enables them to see the value in what you're pitching them. Health and safety projects are notoriously difficult to get buy-in from management for, because if whatever you've purchased is working, it's really difficult to see the benefit. If it's a new guarding system or a bit of automated system that takes people out of a danger area, if it's working, you're not going to see the benefit because people are, well, you see the benefit in people not getting injured, but you'll just see a bit of equipment that's worked as it's always worked, just that people are better protected. If it's a service, it's a little bit easier to identify where the value add is in that, in so much as we've got this new EHS system. All of our information's now available on one server. People don't have to skip between 15 different folders to get the required information they need. That in turn saves time, gives more time back to people on the shop floor to allow them to concentrate more on getting product out the door. So it's really important you understand who you're pitching it to. Maybe they're people focused, right? If they're people focused, maybe they'll really buy into products that are high efficiency and going to save people time and make it easier for people to do their jobs. If you make people's lives easier, people are happier, you have better retention. So these are all sort of key thoughts that you should be thinking about when you're putting together that sort of business plan for whatever product or service it is you're looking to purchase. Also, put a lot of detail in there, but try and condense the detail down into a set number of slides. Nobody wants to be going through a 40-page presentation. All you want to have in your presentations is the key information, the key benefits, those value add sections. Maybe expand a little bit on those, but just give people a really good understanding of what the product is, why you need that product or service as a business, and how it's going to help you and propel you forward as a business. If you can get those sort of key pieces of information into your business case and present it to the senior managers, then hopefully they'll see the same benefit that you see in the service or product, and you'll get that sign off. If there's a lot of questions come back and you're asked to sort of go away and have a look at it again, put a bit more detail in. It might be the fact that they don't understand what the implications of not having said service or product in place could be. So for example, if we go back to maybe fully garden interlocking and automating a line, if you don't do that, you're relying on people. Maybe you've had a lot of near misses in the area. Maybe you've had a couple of serious accidents. And if you have, you can use that as extra ammunition to put in and sort of just present it in a way to say, do you know what? We've had 2 really serious near misses that could have ended in, for example, a fatality or an amputation or a serious crush injury, and then sort of highlight what may well happen after that. That line, for example, might have to be closed down while investigations can take place. Maybe you have a fatality. Maybe the police have to get involved, the HSE, whoever it might be. That's going to close that line down. There's potential also for it to close the business down for a little while. So that 100,000 outlay that you would have had initially, all of a sudden you might be losing 100,000 plus in revenue because you've had a serious accident that could have been rectified, if that product had been purchased. Sometimes we have to put sort of worst case scenario and give them a little bit of detail about what is the worst case scenario, what's the worst type of injury that can happen if we don't have this in place. Maybe you're looking at a regulatory update system. What happens if some key pieces of legislation that come in are missed, and you find yourself uncompliant? Maybe the HSE coming in and do a spot check, find you non-compliant. Well, that can then lead to improvement notices. If you don't get them done in the allotted time, there's potential then for prohibition notices, shutdowns of facilities, etc., etc. fees for intervention, fines for not being compliant. There's a whole host of different outcomes that can come to light when you don't do the right thing. So whenever I put these presentations together, I make sure I understand the product. I make sure I understand the individual I'm pitching to, and I try and put enough detail within the presentation, including, outcomes if we didn't have this enforced. There's possibilities of missing legislation, possibilities of increased injuries. I make sure that information is known to the management team, and I also make sure they understand what the potential outcomes of of not doing the right thing may be. And as long as I've given them the whole package, in terms of what the product is, how the product can help us, how the product can, stop us getting to the stage of these fees for interventions and fines, or maybe HSE investigations for accidents, depending on what the product or service is, they have all the information then to make an educated decision, and hopefully they'll see the benefit as you see the benefit in whatever product or service it is you're trying to pitch to them. But try some of those tips. Let me know if you've got any thoughts on anything else that should be considered. Let me know if you build your business cases in a different way. Let me know in the comments. I always try and reply to 100% of the comments. If you are enjoying these videos, please, 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 if you haven't already, subscribe, like, hit that notification bell. You'll get notified if I upload any more videos, and I upload at least twice a week. By you subscribing, which is free to do, by the way, that just helps me create more content. And what I want to do is build a sort of safety community. So all those that are subscribed, everybody can talk to one another. You can pitch questions to myself. I'll be happy to answer any questions as well. But please, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell for me if you haven't already. Until next time, though, remember, folks, safe by choice, not by chance. Take care. See you next time.